Right. Welcome all the devotees for today's session on Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll be continuing with the 10th chapter. We'll continue the next two shlokas, that is shloka number 12 and 13. So through these shlokas, what we understand is that by Krishna's mercy only, the dependent living entities and the Supreme Creator are existing. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatah Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. So, shloka number 12 and 13. Dravyam karma cha kalah cha swabhava jiva eva cha yat anugrahat santi na santi yat upekshaya ekah nanatvam anvichan yoga talpat samuttita Veryam hiranyamayam deva māyā vyasrujatridha.
Dravyam karma cha kala cha svabhavah jiva eva cha.
Dravyam karma cha kalah cha svabhava jiva eva cha.
Yat anugrahata santi na santi yat upekshaya.
Yat anugrahata santi na santi yat upekshaya.
Eka nanatvam anvichan yoga talpata samuttah.
Eka nanatvam anvichan yoga talpat samuttita.
Viryam hiranmayam deva māyā vyasrujatridha.
Veryam hiranyamayam deva māyā vyasrujatridha.
Dravyam karma cha kala cha svabhava jiva eva cha yat anugrahata santi na santi yat upekshaya eka nanatvam anvichan yoga talpat samuttitah viryam hiranmayam deva māyā vyasrujatridha. Hare Krishna.
Dravyam karma cha kalah cha svabhava jiva eva cha yat anugrahat santina santi yat upekshaya ekah nanatvam anvichan yoga talpat samuttita veryam hiranyamayam deva māyā vyasrujatridha.
Hare Krishna. Pranam. Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One should definitely know that all material ingredients, activities, time and modes, and the living entities who are meant to enjoy them all exist by His mercy only. And as soon as he does not care for them, everything becomes non-existent. The Lord, while lying on his bed of mystic slumber, generated the seminal symbol, golden in hue, through external energy out of his desire to manifest varieties of living entities from himself alone. Purport. The living entities are the enjoyer of the material ingredients. Hare Krishna.
Ingredients, time, modes, etc. because they want to lord it over the material nature. The Lord is the supreme enjoyer, and the living entities are meant to assist the Lord in his enjoyment and thus participate in the transcendental enjoyment of everyone. The enjoyer and the enjoyed both participate in enjoyment, but deluded by the illusory energy, the living entities want to become the enjoyer like the Lord, although they are not meant for such enjoyment. The jivas,
The jivas, the living entities, are mentioned in the Bhagavad-gītā as the Lord's superior nature or parā prakṛti, and also it is mentioned in the Viṣṇu Purāṇa. Therefore, the living entities are never the puruṣas or the factual enjoyer. As such, the spirit of enjoyment by the living entity in the material world is false in the spiritual world. The living entities are pure in nature, and therefore they are associates in the enjoyment of the Supreme Lord. In the material world, the spirit of enjoyment of the living entities by dint of their own actions, karma, gradually fades, fades by the laws of nature, and thus the illusory energy dictates in the ears of the conditioned souls that they should become one with the Lord. Thus, in the last snare of the illusory energy, when the last illusion is also cleared by the mercy of the Lord, the living entity again become reinstated in the original position and thus become actually liberated. For this attainment of liberation from the material clutches, the Lord creates the material world, maintain it from it for some time, 1,000 years of his measurement, as stated in the previous verse, and then again annihilates it by his will. The living entities are therefore completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord, and all their so-called enjoyments by scientific improvement are crushed into dust when the Lord desires. Uh, in the Bhagavad-gītā 9.7 and 8, the creation and annihilation of the material world are stated as follows. 1 minute, 1 minute.
सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकां कल्पक्षये पुनः तानि कल्पादौ विसृजामि अहम् प्रकृतिं स्वाम् अवस्तभ्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतग्रामम् इमं कृत्स्नम् अवाशं प्रकृते वशत्.
At the end of each millennium, the creative forces, namely the material nature and the living entities who struggle in the material nature, all merge together into the transcendental body of the Lord. And again, when the Lord desires to manifest them, all of them are again displayed by the Lord. Therefore, the material nature is working under the control of the Lord. All of them under the agency of material nature and under the control of the Lord are thus repeatedly created and annihilated by the will of the Lord. As such, before the creation or manifestation of the material cosmic world, the Lord exists as total energy, Mahasamashti, and thus desiring himself to be diffused to many, he expands himself further into multi-total energy, Samashti. From the multi-total energy, he further expands himself into individuals in three dimensions, namely Adhyatmic, Adhidaivic, and Adhibhautik, as explained before Vyaveshti. As such, the whole creation and the creative energies are non-different and different simultaneously because everything is as emanation from him, the Mahavishnu or Mahasamashti. Nothing of the cosmic energies is different from him, but all such expanded energies have specific function and display as designed by the Lord, and therefore they are simultaneously different from the Lord. The living entities are also similar energy, marginal potency of the Lord. and thus they are simultaneously one with and different from him. At the stage of non-manifestation, the living energies remain potent in the Lord, and when they are let loose in the cosmic manifestation, they are exhibited difficultly in terms of difficult desires under the modes of nature. Such differential manifestation of the living energies are conditional state of the living entities. The liberated living entities, however, in the Sanatan eternal manifestation, are unconditionally surrendered soul, and therefore they are not subject to the conditions of the creation and annihilation. So this creation takes place by the glance of the Lord from his bedstead of mystic slumber, and thus all the universes and the Lord of the universe, Brahma, are again and again manifested and annihilated. Next shlokas. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देव श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण। Today we continue Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2nd, chapter 10. Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions, and we try to understand Shlok Kramanka 12 and 13. In the shlokas, they're describing about the Adidevik, Adibhautik, and Adhyatmik, and how the mystic slumber, the Lord lying on that bed generated the seminal symbol, golden in hue, with through eternal energy out of his desires to manifest varieties of the living entities from himself. Prabhuji will tell us this nicely. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji, for giving us this wonderful introduction to these two shlokas of second canto, 10th chapter, where Sri Shukdev Goswami ji is describing the complete dependence of all creation. The material ingredients, the living beings, the time, the modes of nature, everything is dependent upon the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. It is also revealed here how the Lord alone is able to generate the necessary cosmic manifestation by his glance and desire, and how the living entities, which are parts and parcels of Krishna, but still they become bound by illusion when they seek independence from him. So the very most important aspect which comes out is the mercy of Lord Krishna, and how everything is existing exclusively because of that mercy only. The living entities, apparently they are the enjoyers of matter, time, and activities because they desire to dominate the material nature. They wish to be the karta for the prakriti. But in reality, the truth is that Supreme Lord is the only enjoyer, and the living entities are meant to assist in his enjoyment. And when they do so, they participate in transcendental bliss, the real enjoyment of everyone. And that is why what is being said here is that one should definitely know that all material ingredients, activities, time, modes of nature, living entities, they are meant to enjoy and exist only by his mercy only. And as soon as Krishna does not care for them, everything is non-existent. Just like a magician does his magical trick and makes something disappear. So Krishna is the biggest magician. But unfortunately, the living beings, we are deluded by this māyā, the illusory energy. So we try to imitate the Lord. We want to be the enjoyers. We want to be the controllers. And this false mentality is the root cause of bondage. Bhagavad-gītā Viṣṇu Purāṇa, they declare that the living entities are the Lord's superior nature, parā prakṛti. But they are never the puruṣas or the actual enjoyers. Hence, the idea of independent enjoyment by the jīva is false. The jīva is always conditioned, but it also has a liberated state. In the spiritual world, the living entities are pure in nature. They are associating in the enjoyment of the Supreme Lord. So the joy comes from serving him. But in the material world, the living entities, by their own actions, karma, gradually lose their so-called capacity for enjoyment. The illusory energy then whispers in their ears, you should become one with the Lord. And this is the last snare of illusion. When even its final illusion is destroyed by the mercy of the Lord, the soul is reinstated in its original position and attains true liberation. For this purpose, to give the souls an opportunity to attain liberation, the Lord creates the material world, maintains it for some time, 1,000 years of his measurement, and again annihilates it by his will. Therefore, all living beings are completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. All their so-called enjoyments, achievements, scientific progress, they are reduced to dust the moment the Lord withdraws his favor. So there is complete dependence on divine knowledge. And when a person ignores Vedic knowledge, he becomes the victim of the modes of material nature. The laws of material nature then act upon him relentlessly, forcing him to accept repeated birth and death. And only when one accepts the Lord as the supreme controller and engages in his service does he transcend these modes and attain peace. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And that is where Prabhupada, the purport, talks about the manifestation of divine qualities in being. In fact, when we'll be going to the 5th canto of Bhagavatam, in the 18th chapter, 12th shloka, it is declared very clearly that all the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, renunciation, they become manifest in the body of one who has developed an alloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. And on the other hand, one who has no devotion, possesses no good qualities, for he is driven by mental speculation and the modes of nature. So all good qualities arise naturally in one who revives in Krishna consciousness, because every living being is part and parcel of Krishna. Mame vaunsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. So when a person engages in the 9 processes of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam, his heart becomes purified and he understands his eternal relationship with Krishna. And for that, what is required to be done is Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, in one of the lectures, Prabhupada discusses the qualities of a true Vaishnava. Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ji, he lists 26 good qualities that manifest naturally in a Vaishnava. Now, how do we remember the 26 qualities? So what we do is, what I used to do is, we create an acronym. Like for the first, first 5 qualities, it is very easy to remember. KDTEF. So KD is kind to everyone. D does not make anyone his enemy. T is truthful. E is equal to all, and F is faultless. Then there is M square, magnanimous and mild. And then we have A, that is always clean. W square is without possessions, works for everyone's benefit. And then we have 11th to 15 as PAFMS. So that is peaceful, always surrendered to Krishna, free from material desires, meek and steady. And then we have the next 5, which are CD nod, that is controls his senses, does not eat more than required, not influenced by illusion, offers respect to everyone, and does not desire respect for himself. And then the last 6 qualities are very simple to remember. He is grave, he is merciful, he is friendly, he is poetic, he is expert, and he is silent. So these are the signs of a good devotee, a good person. And these are the signs also of purified heart, and the reflections of Krishna's own qualities within a devotee. And the best example of a perfect Vaishnava is Sri Vasudeva Datta. He stands as the most exalted example of mercy and compassion. He was para dukha dukhi, one who cannot tolerate the suffering of others. That is why in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, he prays to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear Lord, let me suffer perpetually in hell, accepting all the sinful reactions of all living beings. Please finish that diseased material life. Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains that although Lord Jesus Christ delivered his followers from sin, Vasudeva Datta desired to deliver all souls in the universe, taking upon himself their sins forever. He did not seek honor, reputation, liberation. He was far beyond philanthropists, philosophers, workers. His only desire was to see others free from material bondage. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta writes that such a devotee is not a mundane welfare worker. He is the embodiment of universal love and a true representative of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Narottam Das Thakur says, Gaurangera Sangi Gane Nitya Siddha Kariya Mane Sayaya Vrejendra Sutta Pasha. Those who execute the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are eternally liberated and go directly to the son of Satnanda Maharaj, Krishna. So the presence of such pure devotees purifies the whole world, and by their compassion, all conditioned souls become glorified. And that is why In the immediate next sloka, Shukdev Goswamiji explains how the Lord generates the universe. In fact, even in Bhagavad-gītā 7 and 9 shloka, the Lord explains this Sarvabhutani Kaunteya Prakritim. So he says that at the end of each millennium, all created beings merge into my nature, and at the beginning of the next, I again manifest them, controlling my material energy. I repeatedly create and annihilate all living beings according to my will. So before creation, the Lord exists as the total energy, Mahasamasti, and desiring to expand himself, he manifests multi-total energy, that is Samasti. So Mahasamasti is total energy, and when he wants to have expansion, the multi-total energy is Samasti, and from that he expands into individuals, which is Vyasti. And that is where we have the Adhyatmic, Adhidevi, and Adhibhautik division. Creation and the energies are simultaneously one with and different from him. For everything emanates from Mahavishnu. Yet each part has its own function designed by his will. The living entities has his marginal potency, they are also simultaneously one and different. And they share his nature, but are never equal in power. And when unmanifested, the living energies rest within him. And when manifested, they appear in various conditions according to their desires and modes of nature. The liberated souls, however, they remain in the eternal Sanatan state, surrendered and free from material conditions. So this entire creation arises simply by the glance of the Lord during his mystic slumber. And from that glance, all universes, one Lord Brahma, are again and again created and destroyed, all dissolved. So these two shlokas teach us that everything in existence, matter, time, activity, living beings, depends only on the mercy of Supreme Lord. The jivas are not independent enjoyers. Their real happiness lies in assisting the Lord's enjoyment. When illusion is removed by his mercy, the soul regains its original spiritual identity. The Lord creates, maintains, dissolves the universe simply by his will through his glance. The living beings are his parts and parcels, simultaneously one with and different from him. The pure devotee, filled with compassion like Vasudeva Datta, represent the Lord's own heart, wishing to deliver all souls from suffering. Thus, the Lord's mercy is sustaining power of all existence, and to remember that dependence is to live in truth. So, the essence of today's discussion was that everything exists and continues only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Forgetfulness brings bondage. Remembrance brings liberation. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.